Welcome to FX Options University, recorded live at the International Securities Exchange, the world's largest equity options exchange. Join the industry's top trading professionals as they provide insight and strategies for trading in the currency markets using FX options. FX options are a low-risk alternative to hedging currency moves in any market condition.
And here's a look at volatility, and you can see the spike in volatility lately, corresponding to the big move in the Canadian dollar, move. So it's natural there. And since I know very little about volatility, I'd have to have Steve explain this chart to you. So we'll move on. And these are just some of the listed prices in the Canadian dollar. And on the left side there, you see the various strike prices that are available in the Canadian dollar: 99, 101, 103, 105. And in this case, as you can see, the further away you get from the current price on these Canadian dollar in this particular option chain, the cheaper the option becomes. And again, if you have what your goal here is there's always a big question: how do you pick the proper strike price? How do you choose a premium? Obviously, if a premium is very, very cheap and it's far out of the money, they're usually cheap for a reason. We're not going to get there, and the probability suggests that's the case. But if for some reason you expect a massive move in something, then you would maybe choose something farther out of the money. Maybe even that, if you look on this chart on the left side, and again, I don't have a pen, but let's just look down at the 109 there, pretty far out of the money. It's at 0.38. Now on the ISE, that 0.38 is the equivalent of $38 for that particular option. Very, very cheap. All those strike prices there, you just multiply it by 100, just as you would for a stock option. Very, very easy to understand. $38 option there, very cheap option. But again, you need a pretty big move in order for that to make sense. And as you get closer into where it's currently trading up there, and if you look up on the upper left there, 103.39, that's the current U.S. dollar Canadian dollar price. And the 103, if you continue down, the 103 strike there is trading at 221. That's $221 per option. Has a pretty good delta, and if you move to the right, you see that 0.55. That represents a delta. Means for every 1 point move there, for like 103 goes to 104, you expect that option to move about 55%. So you get a very decent move there if you get something near the strike or near the money. And I tend to like something close to the money, because if you're wrong by selecting an option that has some value near the money, and you can determine that you're wrong, you can save some of your premium. If you were to select the 109 and your decision is wrong, that $38 is going to go to zero very, very quickly, or fade very, very fast, and usually moves away from you, so you can't really grab any premium. So that's the negative, or the downside, of getting something so far out of the money. If you make a mistake, you usually go to zero and lose all of your investment. If you make a mistake on something that's closer to the money or in the money with some value, you can suck some premium out of that, so to speak. And this
Thanks.
is okay, Steve.
I said thanks because my screen is sort of white and I can't see much of anything, so you'll have to just finish up here. Sorry.
No problem. Okay, and this is just additional information for us at Black Swan. As Steve said, we have a free morning global macro commentary, and we talk about the things that I talked about today, not to the depth of today, but a lot of the type of things around the world about money flow and how it impacts the various asset markets, and we try and bring it back to a currency idea for you in our global macro commentary each morning. That's called Currency Currents, and if you go to our website at blackswantrading.com, you can go ahead and sign up for that. It's free. We also have a free report available on the euro if you sign up for that. And the other subscription-based letters there, we have options. Obviously, the options that we trade, give trade recommendations on these options traded on the ISE, the FX options. We also have a program trading spot forex and currency futures. We also have emerging markets currency program and a currency ETF program. please come take a look at that. And if you have any questions, just fire them to us at info@blackswantrading.com. And here's some more information on the FX options education. If you go to the fxoptions.com website, it's loaded with information. As I said, Steve has done tons of, Elanet and Steve have done tons of these webinars with a lot of really top people in the currency industry. We're very happy that that we get to do this, and that they've chosen us to share some of our ideas. But there's a ton of stuff, as you can see. There's a lot of really good people coming up going forward, and just a ton of archived information that really is great information, not only from Steve. Steve has some really excellent articles there himself, but all of these archived webinars from all these different people, and you really can choose what you're interested in, and they really get very, very detailed depending on your level of sophistication. So it really is a great resource. So I urge you to really go there and take a look. This is the same chart that we kind of slid past earlier, and what this shows here is the listed currencies now available on the ISE. The listed FX options that you can trade on ISE. They have all the major currencies, and the major currencies consist of Australian dollar, British pound, Canadian dollar, euro, Japanese yen, and Swiss franc. Those are considered the 6 major currencies against the U.S. dollar. The ISE has added some minor currencies, as I guess you could call them, and Mexican peso may even border in on an emerging market currency. So you can see the breadth that's available there on the ISE, and as they continue to get more and more volume into this product, I think you're going to see this category expand. So you can see you have a lot of exposure, different places around the world that you can use these currency options to diversify, or just from a pure speculative standpoint to try and make money. The beauty of this product really is, for the average retail investor, you can trade these in your standard brokerage account. You don't have to get a new futures account. You don't have to get a new Forex account to trade this product. They're all listed on the ISE exchange, which means you get maximum transparency. You can see what's happening all day long. You can look up these options chains. If you just type those symbols in there, for example, look at the Australian dollar into your standard, whatever platform you use on your online broker, just put in that AUX there, and you'll pull up the options chain on the Australian dollar or any of these currencies, just as you would for the stock options. So again, they've made it very, very easy to do in this product. And again, if you know anything about stock options, right away you know a lot about the currency options available here. The only difference here is the fact that the underlying currencies tend to trade a little differently than stocks and bonds, but otherwise it's the exact same rules for stock options on the ISE as there is on for the FX options on ISE as stock options traded anywhere. You also notice in that second column over, that last column over, ISE has recently offered these options in different quote criteria. So you can either trade, for example, again, we use the Australian dollar. You can trade an option US dollar, Australian dollar, or you can trade Australian dollar, US dollar. They're different symbols, different options chains. Basically the same thing. Obviously, you're getting exposure to the Australian dollar. On the first one, US dollar against Australian dollar, if you expect the Australian dollar to appreciate using that one, you would buy a put. And if you move over to the right, because Australian dollar against U.S., I know this is a little confusing, that's the standard way, you tend to think of that, the chart going up, Australian dollar is going up. If you expect that to appreciate in value, Australian dollar against the U.S., using that AUM symbol, given that quotation, you would buy a call. So hopefully that makes some sense. But needless to say, the beauty of this product is you can get exposure to all these products just as you would any other stock option, and you can do it in your standard account.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. Get trading ideas, exchange rates, webinars, news, and commentary. Visit www.fxoptions.com. ISE FX options can be easily traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.